Welcome to Occupational Queerpy, a podcast run by an occupational therapy student exploring the intersection of occupational therapy and the LGBTQIA+ experience. This podcast offers personal perspectives for informational and educational purposes only. We'll be discussing a wide range of LGBTQIA+ topics, and to authentically reflect the community, we'll be using common and slang terms which some listeners may find explicit. Listener discretion is advised. Okay, we're live. Hi everyone, welcome to Queer House Down Boots Camp at East Soldiers. Okay, who do we have here? We have a guest today. Can you state your name? Pronouns?
Hi, my name is Emily French. My pronouns are she, her, and I am an occupational therapy student with Trent at the Arkansas Colleges of Health Education.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say.
I didn't either. I said...
No, exactly. I'm like...
Can Ake branding be on this?
We're going to tag Ake Marketing and see if they approve. No, we talked about that in the last episode. I'm like, am I allowed to say her school?
Actually, I literally didn't know. That's why I hesitated.
And like, especially if it flops, I'm like, they're not going to want to be tied to this. So we'll edit out in post.
We get canceled for something.
Exactly. So, okay, Emily, tell me just like a little bit about yourself.
I'm a lesbian, proud lesbian.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that for you. Can you tell us
my sister
a little bit about your journey, like where you grew up, like when you knew you were a lesbian, etc.?
Yeah. So I grew up in Fort Smith, Arkansas, so down south.
Period.
Which, comes with its own difficulties when it comes to accepting the fact that you're queer. For me, I kind of always knew that I was attracted to women. It was harder for me to understand that I wasn't attracted to men because of compet and all that. I don't know if you've defined that. But
no, go ahead.
Yeah, it's basically like when you're a little girl, you're raised to think that you're supposed to grow up and fall in love with a boy and marry a boy.
Like heteronormative.
Yeah, and be with a man. And it's just so ingrained, especially I think in girls.
Absolutely. Like the amount of times I hear like when you're talking to kids or like you hear people talking to kids and it's like a little girl, it's like, oh, I bet you have so many boyfriends. Or I'm like, I bet you're such like a man eater. I'm like, that's
crazy.
Bizarre. Crazy talk.
Yeah, that's a 3-year-old.
Right.
But yeah, that's stuff that it subconsciously sticks with you, I think.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like I dated boys and, it never felt right, but I didn't understand why. And it was because I literally was not attracted to them.
Yeah.
It was just kind of it felt like I was supposed to be doing it.
Exactly.
So, it was much easier for me to understand that I was attracted to women. And then letting go of the fact that I was not attracted to men came later, when probably my late teens. And then I didn't come out until I was 21.
Yeah.
But, been proud and out ever since then.
Okay. How was the reception?
Pretty good, actually. I was very blessed that most of the people in my life were accepting. Mm-hmm. When I was struggling to come out, I was more worried. I didn't think any of them would flat out reject me, but I was scared they would look at me differently because I was kind of, in a way, put on a pedestal as like this good girl, good grades, going to college, like first-gen college student,
Yeah.
And it felt like I was disappointing people in a way, and I was really scared of that. And, I have a lot of very religious people in my family, so not my direct family, but like my grandma and my aunts and,
Mm-hmm.
So I was nervous, but I'm very blessed that I have a very loving family and they never rejected me or anything. I still don't feel fully comfortable, like,
for sure,
talking about it really around them, but it's kind of like a don't ask, don't tell thing. Like, they know. I know they know.
But you can't talk about your girlfriend.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in passing, but they don't want to sit and hear about my relationship.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like.
For sure.
But overall, great reception.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar vibes here. So I think I talked about this a little bit on the first, like, the intro episode, but just I grew up with just, like, a lot of, like, homophobia in my family, not necessarily targeted at me, but just, like, hearing about it. I remember, like, distinctly we had Dirty Santa, White Elephant, you know? We were playing that for a family Christmas. And I remember, like, you know how people do gag gifts and whatnot, things will just get a big laugh. Someone gifted Brokeback Mountain. And it was just hilarious. Like, that was such a hit because, like, it's funny because it's gay.
That's such a good movie, too. Like,
so the thing is, I did not watch Brokeback Mountain. People watching, people listening, gay, straight, queer, anything, go watch Brokeback Mountain. I did not watch that until...
It's a beautiful movie.
When I became an adult, I finally watched it. And it literally... I remember I was showing my classmates, my roommate Taylor and her husband. I was showing them the movie. I disintegrated mentally afterwards. Like, I'd seen it before, but it just hit me so hard. But they're like, Trent, after the movie, you just went home and, like, we didn't hear from you. Like, you didn't say goodbye or anything. And I missed class the next day because it destroyed me so hard. Taylor had to do a wellness check to see because I wasn't responding to anything. That's
no, but, like, it's not funny. Like,
no,
it's not a funny
exactly
movie.
Yeah, that's the point I'm getting
at. Like, when I was a little kid, even I remember gay cowboys, haha. Like,
exactly,
I didn't know the depth of that movie until
I did not watch it until my adult life. Like, that wasn't the first time I'd seen it, but, like, it's such a beautiful movie and a beautiful telling of just a queer romance and, like, these southern cowboys that, like, aren't supposed to love men. But it was beautiful. And then, like, it hit me later in life. Like, I was, like, putting that connection together. I'm like, why the hell was that funny?
Yeah.
Like, why did people laugh?
And they probably didn't even watch it.
No. Oh, absolutely not.
They didn't. It was just funny because it was gay.
Exactly. So that's, yeah.
People don't realize that the homophobia you grow up experiencing a lot of times is not, like, sometimes, but a lot of times it's not, like, a violent thing. It's very, like, subtle and insidious, like
but
that.
It builds up.
But
for
you,
sure.
You internalize that so much.
For sure. And I think, like, a huge concept, like, when I was just doing the, like, looking through the research and stuff is, like, minority stress and, like, of that, like, anticipatory stress. It's, like, just little things like that, those little microaggressions. We'll talk about that later. But it just builds up. And it gets to the point where it's like you can't do certain things because you're anticipating something bad happening. So it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's something I think a lot of people don't, if they haven't experienced it, don't understand. Like, if you, when you're going into a new environment or with new people you don't know, you're like, can I be myself?
Yeah.
Can I be 100% genuinely myself? I remember even starting grad school, I was nervous. I was like, can I be myself here? I don't know. I don't know these people. I don't know this environment.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of scope it out sometimes to make sure that you're, you know, safe.
Exactly.
And for me, it helped a lot knowing that you were in the class above me.
Yes. Oh, yeah. She's a cohort below me. Yeah. So 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
But yeah, just talking on, like, starting the grad program. I wanted to come in and be unapologetically me, but, like, the initial going in is so freaking terrifying. Any new environment stresses me out so much. And I remember going to tour campus and Dr. Moore, I get emotional talking about this just because it was just so warm and authentic. The first time I got there, just to tour, she came up to me and gave me a hug and she said, "I'm so glad you're here." And, like,
I'm gonna cry.
I'm literally tearing up. But it's just little things like that, just
means so
creating
much.
an affirming environment, that straight off the bat. And Dr. Moore, she's the dean of our program, dean of OT school, and just having the head
warm
woman
welcome.
just welcome you so authentically, it just let me know I'm safe here. And I can't really think of a time in grad school where I just had pushback for my sexuality, which never happens.
Yeah.
So super thankful.
I had a similar experience with Mr. Hansen, who's one of our professors in our grad school. And it was, I think, like our first day of school, did we have like an orientation or something?
Yeah, like the week before classes.
It was an orientation day, and then at the end there was like a mixer for family and friends and stuff. And my girlfriend came to the mixer, and it was just me and her, and we didn't know anyone, so we were like shy and awkward. You know, you didn't know your classmates yet, and we were just sitting at a table eating. And Mr. Hansen slides up and sits at the table, and he's just smiling. And I was like, who's this man with the long hair? And he was like, hi, I'm Mr. Hansen. And then he's very subtly slipped into the conversation that he was the faculty advisor for the LGBTQ plus Healthcare Alliance. And I was like, oh, okay. He's letting me know. Like, I've got a friend here, an ally.
We know.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Because I was just sitting there, like, so stiff and awkward. But yeah, it was just, that was very reassuring for me. And my girlfriend still talks about that to this day. She's like, it made me so happy to know that you had a professor there that was just so arms wide open to you, you know?
Yeah.
And let you know right off the bat that you have a ally in him, you know?
Yeah. I love that. Mm-hmm. I'm glad this is not like a school plug. Like, I'm not even sure if we're keeping the name of our school in there. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But we genuinely had, I feel like, a great queer.
Especially, for in Arkansas.
Yes. Rural. This is kind of not middle of nowhere. It's one of the bigger cities in Arkansas, but still very traditional Southern values. Yes.
And yeah, we have an incredible program. Not plugging. Who knows?
Not plugging. We just bleep it every time we say it. Yeah.
But I do love my school. They've been very
absolutely
intentional.
Awesome. So so this episode is Queer House Down Boots Camp for the individuals. I don't know about you. I'm so like engrossed in gay culture, gay slang and stuff. Sometimes I talk and I talk to Mr. Hansen all the time and he is like, what are you saying? What are you saying? But it's just me talking normal. I'm like, this is literally how I speak.
Me too.
But this is Queer House Down Boots Camp.
Yeah.
In translation for the folks, it's just intro to LGBTQIA plus basics. So House Down Boots is, I don't know if you've ever heard I know you have, but like period. you know. But like period. When someone says period, it's just, it's emphasizing the end of a sentence. You know what I mean? So House Down Boots is kind of like similar to period.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so we're just wanting to give like an intro into the acronym, what each letter means. Just talk about basic definitions. Super stripped down, like as simple as possible. All the stuff that I looked up, I have a loose script here, but this is from either, let's see, Human Rights Campaign. I got a lot of definitions from there. GLAAD, which is a queer organization. Transequality.org. The Trevor Project, which is like an LGBTQIA plus suicide prevention hotline. And PFLAG. So let's start. The Alphabet Mafia.
All right.
Okay, the L, I think you have some...
Heard of it.
Okay, yeah, can you tell us what the L is?
Yeah, so L stands for lesbian.
What's that mean? What are you?
I am a person who identifies as a woman who is attracted to people who also identify as women.
Okay, sweet. G, I'm a G, which is gay, so that's, I identify as a man, and I am attracted to other people that identify as men. So, I also identify as queer.
I do
know,
too, yeah.
So I just kind of alternate between the two. Because...
And also as a lesbian, I also use the word gay sometimes.
Yes.
So it's,
Yeah, gay is also... I was talking about the last episode, how queer is like an umbrella term. I feel like gay is also pretty umbrella-y. So it's just... It depends on who you're talking to, for sure. So just be open, actively listen. We talked about cultural humility. Just being able to like... be receptive to people talking and then actively listen. Don't have a response ready. Listen and reflect on what they're talking about, because we're saying these things right now, like she says gay, I say queer, like some people may find queer offensive still.
Yeah.
We talked in the last episode how queer was used derogatorily, like as a slur.
Yeah,
and there's been a huge reclamation, right?
Yeah.
But I feel some people still may find offense to that. So it's just client to client or like person to person. Just be open, and if you're wrong, it's okay.
Noted.
I'll correct that for sure. So, gay. I'm gay. You're a lesbian. Okay, so bisexual. We're going to define that. Neither of us identify as bisexual. We had a lesbian here for the L, a gay here for the G. So bisexual, I'm getting a definition from the Human Rights Campaign, which is hrc.org. And bisexual is a person emotionally, romantically, or sexually attracted to more than one gender, though not necessarily simultaneously, in the same way or to the same degree, sometimes used interchangeably with pansexual. And pansexual, let me look that up. Yeah, we were talking about how there is some discourse with bisexual because, gender is more becoming, with the research, is becoming more of a spectrum rather than just like guy girl. Like it's not just a binary anymore. Some people do identify as bisexual though, of course. And then pansexual, I'll just read that definition from HRC. Describes someone who has the potential for emotional, romantic, or sexual attraction to people of any gender, though not necessarily simultaneously, in the same way or to the same degree. Used interchangeably with bisexual. So
very similar, but I can see why people might resonate with one or the other.
Yeah, for sure. Transgender, I have on hrc.org. And I also want to talk about how we have sexual orientation and then gender identity. In the research I was looking at, there are a lot of articles that, do like the entire queer umbrella, but there are also some research I saw that just did LGB regarding sexual orientation, because trans is gender identity. So I'll just read the definition for transgender, hrc.org. Transgender is an umbrella term for people whose gender identity and or expression is different from cultural expectations based on the sex they were assigned at birth. Being transgender does not imply any specific sexual orientation. Therefore, transgender people may identify as straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, etc. So I think it's important to note sexual orientation is loosely is who you're attracted to. And then gender identity is who you identify as. So that's how they, like LGB is different from T. So still same community. A little bit different though. So what next? We have queer. We can kind of talk about that. Do you want to?
Queer.
What'd you call me?
That was good. That was a setup.
I got you right there, bitch. Yeah, let us know. Let us know, please.
So,
I can read it here. Let me read.
No, okay. In my understanding, queer is usually used as a umbrella term.
Yes.
If you identify as any part of the LGBTQIA plus community. Basically, if you identify as anything other than like straight or cisgender, a lot of people will use queer as kind of a catch-all term.
Yes. Catch-all. Very nice. So I'll read the HRC definition. So it's a term people often use to express a spectrum of identities and orientations that are counter to the mainstream. Queer is often used as a catch-all. Did you? Oh, okay. To include many people, including those who do not identify as exclusively straight and or folks who have non-binary or gender-expansive identities.
Guys, I killed that.
That's pretty right on.
I killed that.
She studied.
Yeah.
She studied, guys. That's incredible. Good job.
Thank you.
I, intersex, HRC. So intersex people are born with a variety of differences in their sex traits and reproductive anatomy. There's a wide variety of difference among intersex variations, including differences as genitalia, chromosomes, gonads, internal sex organs, hormone production, hormone response, and or secondary sex traits. You get it? Does that make sense? Okay. A is for asexual, not ally. Sorry, straight people at home. That's not for you.
We're not part of my community. Love you, though.
So asexual, also called ACE, ACE, shortened version. So asexual refers to a complete or partial lack of sexual attraction or lack of interest in sexual activity with others. Asexuality exists on a spectrum, and asexual people may experience no, little, or conditional sexual attraction. Do you know what that made me think of?
What?
Oh my gosh, Heartstopper. Have you seen Heart?
Like the gay show?
Yes! It's like the British, like, gay show. And it's just so cute. It's so wholesome.
Is someone ace?
So, yeah.
Aww.
So I feel like asexual individuals are not represented in the media
really
often.
not.
So it was personally the first time I've ever seen. I like to think I'm pretty knowledgeable on like gay pop culture stuff, like gay shows and whatnot. I've never seen anyone asexual represented. So Heartstopper, super cute, wholesome show.
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
I think it can also be like, because there's a difference between aromantic and asexual.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like you can be romantically attracted but not sexually, or vice versa.
Yeah. And then we have the plus sign, which we need to talk about, but I don't even know if that would be.
I identify
would that
as
just be
plus
plus?
size.
Plus sign.
I identify as plus sign.
Okay, it's not on here, but the plus is as the queer like community is like expanding and we're learning more about different identities. The plus is kind of catch-all is the word. Kind of talks about like if you're not one of these things that are listed in like LGBTQIA, you're still a part of this community. So I think there's a lot of different other thing that I don't even think that's on the HRC website. See, so there's just a lot of different cultures outside of like the letters we mentioned. Okay, those are the letters. That's the alphabet mafia. We did it.
Yay.
We're not that scary, guys. We may be a
No.
mafia, but we're not that scary. All the time.
Trying is scary. I'm terrified.
I get that a lot. I think it's the camo. It's the camo
It's the
pants.
fur hat. So wear them on their head.
This is fake fur, everyone. I just want to let that be known. This is not real animal. Oh, gender expression. We can talk about gender expression. Do you want me to give? I can give a definition.
Yeah,
this
go
is
for it.
from Planned Parenthood, talking about gender identity and gender expression. So, gender expression is how someone outwardly presents their gender through clothing, appearance, and behavior. It's important to remember that gender expression doesn't necessarily indicate sexual orientation or gender. Do you concur?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Pronouns. Can we talk about pronouns?
Yes, we may.
Okay, so I don't know if I've said my pronouns. So I identify as he, him.
I'm she, her.
So like on my email, I try to always have like my signature
well, yeah.
always includes. That's a good way to be affirming, like nice, easy way. Pronouns in the email.
A lot of our professors at school do.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I love.
Super simple way to
And
just show people.
You put it in your signature, it does it for you.
Exactly.
Every time.
Literally, like you do it once, no more work. Like you literally have to do nothing after that. And then also, I guess we just talk about like affirming things that we've seen. Gay pin, like a queer pin.
Yeah.
Rainbow flag pin. Actually, can I brag on myself?
Yes, you may.
So, like I said in the first episode, I like try to do like as much gay shit as possible. Like when I got to grad school, I just wanted to be gay. You know?
Crime. Yeah.
Exactly. So I collaborated with marketing, and I actually got like our school logo. I got it in like a pride pin version.
That was you?
That was me.
Trent, that's amazing.
Yeah. And now like, are they still there?
Yeah.
They're still there.
You should be proud of that. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
So like now we have pride pins at our school, and some of our professors like wear those.
Yeah, they'll put them on their lanyard.
Yeah. So just little stuff like that.
I've also seen the stickers on their outside of their office.
Yeah.
Like safe space with the flags on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So just little easy things.
And it's more impactful than you would think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like we talked about the anticipatory stress.
Yeah.
If you see that, it's still there.
Yeah.
But like it definitely.
The relief you feel.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'll say I identify as a cisgender man. So I have he, him pronouns. Some individuals, non-binary individuals, any individual can have, they don't feel like they are he, him, or she, her. So we have they, them as well, which is becoming very prevalent, or at least it's finally being shown and known, which is amazing.
Yeah,
so
it's incredible.
Individuals that don't feel like they are necessarily a part of, they can have pronouns they, them. People can also have pronouns he, they, or she, they, them, her, them, him.
Yeah, it's like what they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Most comfortable with.
And that's another way, like just acknowledging people's pronouns, asking, like on an intake form, something as simple as, what are your preferred pronouns?
Yeah.
And it's just a checkbox. Like that's so
and
simple.
Then they don't have to go through that conversation that can be difficult and scary for people.
Yeah. Also, we talked about pronouns in the email, pronouns on your name tag. Like that's super easy as well. So just like simple things like that can let people know. And everyone uses pronouns. Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
Can we say that?
That aren't, when people are like, I don't use pronouns.
My pronouns are USA. No, they're not. Your pronouns are, everyone has them, guys. Everyone has pronouns.
He, she, we.
Yeah.
They.
I, is that a pronoun?
I.
That's something, yeah. You use them.
You.
Whether you want to or not, you use them.
The English language does not work without pronouns.
Period.
So.
Period. Unless you speak in third person. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, if you can call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, you can learn someone's
hello. It's not that hard. It really isn't.
It's not at all. I've had to. It does take some getting used to. Like there is a learning curve with it. Like especially if you've known someone for a long time and then they're asking you to refer to them as a different pronouns. You know. It takes learning and it takes being intentional.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you care about that person at all, it is not that hard.
It's just like, okay. And if you mess up, apologize.
Don't make a big deal out of it.
Yes, exactly. Just be like, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to be better.
Go on.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and...
Yes. Oh my gosh, don't sit there. Please.
Make it about you.
Yeah. Please don't victimize yourself, guys.
I'm so sorry. God. Stupid.
So yeah, pronouns. Hello.
Love them. Can't live without them.
Okay, so now we're gonna move into a new segment. Like we're gonna do this all the time. Maybe.
Microaggressions every episode.
This is actually kind of fun. Okay, so microaggressions. We're gonna talk about those for a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and give a definition. This is from clevelandclinic.org. Okay. So the standard definition for microaggression is a verbal or nonverbal slight that impacts an individual who might identify as being from a marginalized or non-mainstream community. Microaggressions can even come in the form of an organizational process that was designed to keep specific groups from advancing. What do you think about that?
Bad.
Not good.
Not good,
Certainly
guys.
not.
We should fix it.
Can we talk about in your queer experience, in your lesbian experience, microaggressions? Have you run into them?
Yeah. The thing about microaggressions is a lot of times they are not intentional, I've learned, in my experience anyway. That's why they're called microaggressions, not just flat out.
There are macroaggressions, though. Yeah, for sure.
So when we're talking about microaggressions, a lot of the times it's not people doing it intentionally, but the impact is still there. The discomfort that is created is still there. For me as a lesbian, the most common one I'd get is like, I'll be talking about going on a date later or something, and they'll be like, "Oh, who's the boy?
Who's the lucky guy?"
Yeah, who's the lucky guy? And I'm like, "It's my girlfriend." And then it's just kind of awkward and uncomfortable, and you're like,
for sure.
And it's just, I don't know, when you know yourself so well, and I am such a proud lesbian, and it feels like such a big part of my identity. It's like almost jarring in a way when someone associates me with a man. I'm like, whoa.
Please, no.
Don't ever do that again.
Please. I freaking wish that I wasn't associated with men.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I wasn't gay because of having the association with a man. Gross.
I can't imagine.
You don't even know what I go through.
I don't. I'm so sorry.
Having to be attracted to men, it sucks. It sucks.
I'm so sorry. I love women.
I love women as well.
Girl power.
Exactly. Okay.
Period.
So we're going to play a little game real quick. We talked about what microaggressions are. Okay, microaggressions. Hello. So ADHD is real, guys. Oh my gosh. So we're going to do a game. We're going to play a little game. And is that a microaggression? So I'm going to say a statement, and then you're going to let me know. Is that a microaggression?
Okay. I hope I pass.
Does that make sense? You get the rules?
Yes.
Okay. Backstory. You tell someone you're gay. I'm like, hey, I'm gay. What? Are you really? Says the person.
Oh, I get that one all the time. Or no, you're not.
So what is that? Is that a microaggression?
It feels like it sometimes. It depends on the tone it's delivered in, I'd say. But it does feel like it.
It is a microaggression for sure. And I don't know how to I was trying to find how to twist that to where it's not a microaggression. The delivery, and I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Just never, don't say
just
that.
Just the shock of, what do you mean?
Why are we
you're
shocked?
a girl with long hair. You're not a lesbian.
Okay. Someone saying, I don't get the whole non-binary thing.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly.
Why do you need to get it?
Right.
I don't get, astrophysics.
We don't get NASA.
But I know it's there. I know it exists. So.
And I respect that. It's
I respect those astrophysicists.
Maybe it's not for me to know, and that's okay.
Why do I need to understand it?
Certainly a microaggression. I don't get the whole non-binary thing. Okay. And? Using the wrong pronouns after being corrected.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Especially if it's intentional.
Yeah. I think that's definitely an intention thing. Because I even catch myself using the incorrect pronouns, and then I catch myself, and if I don't, they correct me, apologize.
Move on. Yeah.
That's it. Gay people, queer people,
we're not perfect.
Right. We can
microaggress as well.
Yeah, we also microaggress, and it's just a work in progress. Cultural humility. Exactly, accept it, reflect on it. Yeah.
My best friend in the world transitioned. And they were first non-binary.
Yeah.
And now she goes by she, her. See?
Exactly.
And then, so I got used to non-binary they.
Right.
And now she, her. I'm adjusting as well.
Yeah.
Again. And it's an adjustment, but once you're used to it.
Right.
So easy.
Yeah.
It's just.
Just having a good intention.
If you're not being intentional, it can.
Yeah. And people can still take offense.
They're allowed to.
And they're allowed to.
Yeah.
But I think if someone does take offense, it's all you can do is explain I want to be better.
Yeah.
And then just
most people I know, if they know that you're trying, they're not going to be angry with you.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. But then there are those people that also jump to anger or they go there and they probably have every right to. Yeah. Because
the world has made them defensive.
Exactly. Yeah. It's that minority stress. It's trigger.
We're just exhausted.
Yeah. Oh, it's exhausting. It's so exhausting. Okay. Here's one. We kind of talked about this, but this is me talking to you or a person talking to you. So do you have a boyfriend?
I get that one a lot. A lot.
I get that one a lot too. Do you have a boyfriend? See, there are some of these microaggressions I was reading. I'm like, I can't relate. I can't relate. It's there was one that I saw that was pretty common. It's well, you don't act gay. And I can tell you right now, I have never received that. I have never received that microaggression.
But
And
you could get
it
the opposite of that. Like, do you want to watch RuPaul's Drag Race? And
into that I'd say
yes.
yeah.
But it's still kind of an assumption.
Right,
And,
for sure. Absolutely. I freaking wish someone
Literally,
would
I went
ask
up to you.
me-
I said, I saw Ginger Minge last night. I microaggressed you. I'm so sorry.
Ginger Minge is a drag queen on
Yes,
RuPaul's
sorry.
Drag Race.
Yeah.
Are you a Drag Race fan?
Yes.
So you like consistently watch?
I
feel like
off and on. I've seen like the older seasons.
okay, I touched on this in the first episode, but I feel like Drag Race is such a good way to just understand queer culture. There are so many identities on that show.
Yes.
There are gay men, there are non-binary individuals, there are transgender, female to male, male to female, like there are so many different identities, and it's so cool. They do a really good job of like digging in and like getting to know not just like the drag queen, but the person.
You see their talent, you see their personality. It's
beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And that is probably like the first, like growing up, I was not in gay culture at all. I actually remember seeing RuPaul's Drag Race. You know, the cable, you remember cable television?
Heard of it.
But like, you know, the guide, and you just scroll through like all the channels. I remember seeing RuPaul's Drag Race, and I never clicked on it because I thought it was a racing show.
Same.
I literally thought it was some NASCAR shit.
Yeah, I was like, ew.
And I'm like, no, thank you. But when I got to undergrad, one of the first out gay guys like I met, he introduced me to Drag Race, and we would literally sit in the back of Kim 2 Drill on Tuesday mornings and watch the latest episode of Drag Race. And that was such a pivotal moment for me, just being able to like see gay people out there and proud and like that was such a good moment, and I ruined it.
Unapologetically. No, you were preaching.
I was hello choir, are you listening?
Get it back.
It was like unapologetically queer people just like being themselves in Drag Race, and it's fun. It's so fun. It's such a lighthearted show. It's so good plug.
Yeah.
And now I've seen every season, every episode several times.
I love gay culture. Like, I love our community. I love it.
Yes,
it just makes me feel
so fun,
warm and fuzzy.
And straight people are allowed. Like, we allow you in that space.
Yeah,
I think, and especially Drag Race. Like, that's a show. You're not invading a space of any kind.
Yeah,
like you're viewing.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good, like, if you want to get a taste of gay culture, it's fun and it's entertaining and it's like super informative without like being in your face informative.
Yes.
Like, it's not, you're not reading research, which
you're
is
reading, but
reading. That's a gay word.
Oh,
that's a queer
sorry.
word. Reading. Can you define? We try to have some like gay slang.
Reading is like dragging. Oh.
Well, that's also kind of a gay. Can you, for the straight folks out there, can you please?
Reading is like, you clock someone's tea.
Y'all get that? Got it.
I actually don't know how to define that.
See, it's
like,
so...
it's...
Like, we were talking about this earlier. Gay slang is like so ingrained in me.
Yeah.
It's like... It's not...
I use other gay slang to describe it.
It's like not very health literate of us. Like talking to the straight folks and even people that aren't as engrossed in gay culture. Queer people can also not know this terminology.
Yeah.
So can you plain language explain?
Reading,
please. For the love of everything. Don't say a gay word in your definition.
Let me think about this. Hold on.
Wait, let me get the Queen's English book.
Oh,
Also...
Good plug for it.
Thank you.
Also, a lot of words that make it into mainstream culture originate with queer culture.
We were literally talking about that last episode. Like, so real. We're tastemakers.
Yeah.
When we talk, people listen.
Yeah.
Read. It's a noun. Skillful insult, piece of criticism, or mocking observation, usually rooted in some truth. So, it can also be used as a verb. To insult or disrespect. Oh my goodness. And it actually comes with like a quote. Have you ever seen Paris is Burning?
Yeah, a long time ago.
So that's about ballroom culture, which is like, ballroom culture is queer culture. And it is pop culture. Like, a lot of the slang and terminology, it comes from the ballroom scene. which is a lot of people of color and transgender individuals like invented queerness.
Yes.
Don't quote me on that, but it's like a huge a huge component of
There's
queer
such
culture.
a defining aspect.
I think we're finishing up the episode. Any takeaways? Is there anything you want to like leave the audience with?
I hope you guys have learned something, and if not, I hope you've found something that you're interested in learning about that you can look more into.
For sure.
The queer community is beautiful and diverse, and just there's so much to it. It cannot be simplified in this one little podcast.
Never.
There's so many different perspectives of the different people in our community. You know, people of color, transgender, you know, like depending on who they are, they can experience the queer community completely differently. But yeah, we welcome you to learn as much as you can, you know, ask questions to Trent.
Yeah. Oh, for real. Yeah. If anyone listening ever has any questions, I have a Gmail set up for this podcast. It's just occupationalqueerp@gmail.com. So if anyone is ever wondering about anything, just feel free to reach out. I can help you out. I can like give you some answers, or at the very least, I'll point you in the right direction, because I'm not going to have all the answers. But I do want the people to learn, and if I can help, I'm going to. And I'm hoping this podcast helps in some way. Yeah, I think that's the best way to end it. As well said, as beautiful ending, beautiful closing statements. Shall we end in a song?
I lost all hope today. My car broke down. I'm empty. So I went to a friendly bar. There was a show. This one's different.
I think that's good.
Okay.
That's from RuPaul's Drag Race, by the way. Season 5.
Can I get an amen?
Amen! I think that's that.
Get an amen.
We'll see y'all later. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, Trent, for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming in. Amen.